Move! Handcuff him now! Handcuff him! You gotta get it again!
When police officers break the law, it's a betrayal of the public's trust. Some cops have abused their power in shocking ways, from preying on vulnerable people to committing violent crimes. In this video, we'll explore the disturbing cases of corrupt cops who have been caught and brought to justice. These stories will show you the dark side of law enforcement.
Our goal today was really to protect families on both sides, especially Mr. Talley's children.
Count 30, sexual battery. Defendant is guilty of the crime of sexual battery.
William Bill Talley's case. On May 11th of 2019, a disturbing 911 call revealed a violent argument between former police sergeant William Talley and his girlfriend Kevy Levinson. The fight had escalated to a terrifying level, with gunshots fired in the heat of the moment. William fled the scene in Kelly's truck, but he was worried that he had hurt her more than he had thought.
To leave, so I don't know anything since then.
Okay, so nobody's.
The police had to immediately treat this like a crime scene and decided to search the house to ensure Kelly's safety. There was one thing on the officers' mind, and that they were all silently pleading that they wouldn't find her dead. Upon entering the house, evidence of some kind of physical altercation was scattered around. After entering the kitchen, though, they would find Kelly's dead body lying on the ground. With all the evidence that the police had, it wasn't difficult for them to determine their main suspect. But catching him was another matter. William had received both police and SWAT training, so he does know how to escape the police and what to do to never be caught. But luckily, the cops received a 911 phone call informing them Williams had gotten into a car crash. The cops got to the hospital where they found their number one suspect waiting for them, bruised and bloody.
You know me, right, bud?
We're taking him no matter what, right, Dave?
With the bandage, yeah, remember? Alright, brother. We're gonna take care of you now.
Once William was discharged from the hospital, he was immediately brought to an investigation room where the investigation would truly begin.
Can I ask what my charges are?
Yeah, right now you're charged with murder. You're charged with violation of oath of office, and you're charged with
Two names were mentioned here, Becky and Kelly, of course. And we know that Kelly was his girlfriend, but William was married to another woman named Rebecca Talley, who apparently is alive and who he was also cheating on. William appeared confused, but it was unclear if he was just acting. He spent several days in the hospital and was only charged after being cleared by doctors, so it's unlikely he'd still be that confused. Anyways, it seems to be keeping him calm, at least for now.
a little bit.
It wasn't Becky, was it? Who was it, Kelly?
Well,
Is this a cop?
that's what we want you hoping you can tell us. But before we get to any of that part, if you feel like it, if you're able to, and you can sign this.
Nobody's talking with me about things.
There is a small chance that William is distraught over Kelly's death, but he was completely unaware of what he was doing at the time. So it seems more likely that he's just using this as a guise to vent and scream about how his life is pretty much finished over a small argument with his mistress. He is also likely frustrated that he got caught so easily. Remember, this is a man with SWAT and police training. He knows how to flee the cops, but almost instantly got caught after going on the run in an incredibly unpredictable way.
Bill, but in the same aspect, we'd like to talk to you if you want to talk. And that's your right if you don't want to talk.
Who else started?
Right now you're hurting yourself.
I don't care about me.
Well,
Who else done hurt?
Williams clearly already knows that he is guilty and he's doing everything he can to try and find a way out. He's panicking and the cops are probably extremely relieved when Williams asks for a lawyer and to put an end to this dramatic interrogation. However, this obviously didn't help him at all as the detective already had all the evidence they needed to detain him.
Our goal today was really to protect families on both sides, especially Mr. Talley's children. They didn't ask for this.
And Williams Talley was sentenced to life behind bars, despite Williams being a cop and even knowing some of the officers involved in the investigation. This case was handled perfectly, but few cases are as disturbing as that of Daniel Hotzclaw. Daniel was taken in for questioning after a report alleged that he had made an illegal traffic stop and coerced a female driver into undressing and performing a sexual act on him, oral sex to be specific. What detectives weren't aware of was that this was just one of his many crimes that Daniel has committed. Evidence revealed a disturbing pattern of abuse, with photographs showing him assaulting 12 black women and a 17-year-old black girl between December of 2013 and June of 2014.
She gave me her identification card, and then at the time I said, "You have valid driver's license?" She said no. So I was like, okay, that's time to step out of the vehicle.
Did she have insurance?
She didn't get insurance, so I just saw the ID and said, "You have valid insurance."
Daniel shared his side of the story about what happened that night. The police claimed that he didn't follow the procedure by not recording the stop in the dispatch log, running a check on the driver, or even notifying them that he was ending his shift. Daniel explained that everything happened too quickly and he simply forgot to do those things, making the traffic stop unofficial. However, Daniel seemed uncertain while recounting the events, taking long pauses between statements and speaking in incomplete sentences. The harsh reality in cases like this is that it's extremely difficult to secure a conviction without video or photo evidence. The victim barely ever has any evidence to prove that the suspect did what they did, as in most places they're innocent until proven guilty. This is likely why this turned out to be one of the 36 charges eventually brought up against Daniel, each more disgusting than the last.
CSI is processing your car right now.
Right.
And when we stepped out, they found some pubic hairs right in here. Could they be yours?
No, that's not. I didn't pull my out and do anything right there.
Did she?
No.
She would think it could be.
Well, unfortunately for Daniel, this would actually hit his reputation very hard. A DNA test on the hair found in the car came back as a perfect match given by his girlfriend, directly contradicting his story. So after the interrogation, he was placed on administrative leave, but just 2 months later, 12 more women came forward with claims and he was subsequently arrested.
Count 17, forcible oral sodomy. Defendant is not guilty of the crime of forcible oral sodomy.
Daniel was found guilty on 18 of the 36 charges and sentenced to 263 years in prison without possibility of parole. Patrick Mumford's case. Patrick was just getting back home from 2 officers that confronted him, claiming that there are warrants out for his arrest.
What's your name? I'm going to ask you one more time. We probably need to talk to you. Stand up. Turn around, put your hands in the car.
What the cops didn't realize, though, is that the warrants were for a different man, but they didn't really care about that.
Man, what I do? Y'all ain't telling me what I do, man.
Dude, you got a warrant, dude. You got a warrant.
I just came back from my probation officer.
Patrick is just very nervous here after suddenly being confronted by multiple cops, but he still gave his name out to the cops. However, they decide that they don't believe him, and instead of asking him for an ID and trying to confirm his ID in any way, they immediately decided to do this instead.
Move! Handcuff him now! Handcuff him! You gotta get it again!
It wasn't so long after the first contact with Patrick that the police gave the order to tase him. According to cops in their statement, Patrick was given numerous reasonable opportunities to comply with the officers, but because of his resistance, they were left with no choice but to stun him. Even after being tased and detained, the cops didn't finish roughing Patrick up. The cops searched Patrick to try and find whatever he was reaching for, assuming that he was hiding a weapon up his arm, but they find nothing other than his wallets. This would end up being a blessing for him, as inside his wallet, they found his ID.
I just seen this fucking lady.
Patrick Mumford.
This lady not gonna tell me that I got a warrant. I just seen her.
Here's the deal, dude.
How long I had a warrant?
I don't know if you got a warrant, because you're not who I'm looking for, but here's the deal. When we ask you for ID, because you look a lot like the person we're with, you give us ID. And when you start this whole fighting nonsense, dude, all you had to do is give me this.
Remember that the cops never once asked Patrick for his ID during the initial conversation. In a report, the cops later stated that they were worried that he was reaching for a weapon when he was shuffling back in the car. So do you think they would have been okay with him reaching into his back pocket for his wallet? He wasn't given any chance to correctly identify himself, but now the cop is patronizing him and saying that he caught a case he didn't need to get. And above all, he is still being manhandled and forced into the hood of their patrol vehicle.
Who does he look a lot like? He knows who it is.
Who is it?
Michael?
He is not Michael.
Okay, I know that now.
Oh, they thought he was my son? Yes! Really? They don't even look nothing alike? And then besides that, he didn't have a week.
What's hilarious is that there's no single similarity in the appearance between Patrick and the man that the cops are actually looking for. but the cops apparently felt comfortable manhandling him and even pulling out a weapon at Patrick.
We got? They look exactly. Oh, wow. I'm looking at that picture. I mean, don't they look not far off. Okay.
He was initially charged with obstruction and violating probation and was fixed to lose his job and position at college. Thankfully though, an internal investigation was launched into the 4 officers on the scene, and it was concluded that they didn't follow proper procedures. All 4 officers were suspended, and Patrick was awarded a settlement of $100,000. It's crucial that we hold corrupt cops accountable for their actions and ensure that justice is served. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.